Hello, my gorgeous peopleini. My name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium. And these are, of course, your weekly horoscope tarot card readings. And they are from the 13th until the 19th of July 2020. So this is your weekly horoscope tarot card forecast. And it is from the 13th until the 19th of July 2020. And I am going to start with my ever so precious and gorgeous Aries. My gorgeous Aries. Ooh la la, you will be facing a quite bizarre and really unusual situation. But just remember that this situation is going to make you feel like you are under some kind of feeling like basically like you are in a fear. And this fear is going to be purely caused by two particular things. On one hand, it's going to be the fear of the unknown. On another hand, this is going to be a little bit of a test that you are going to have. So this week, my gorgeous Aries, you need to come to terms with some kind of problem and the situation that is going to arise. And the answer to that is just be as open-minded as you can possibly be throughout this week. And make sure you remember, my gorgeous Aries, that if you don't jump in the water, you will not learn how to swim. So this week is most certainly all about you jumping in the water and learning how to swim. On another hand, with another words, this is going to be important moment that you're actually going to have of your particular transition, rebirth, new beginning, a new start that is actually going to arise from this particular situation. And also, on another hand, this situation is just going to open your eyes so much, and the new possibility is going to arise by the end of the week for you, my gorgeous Aries. And it's going to be important because most certainly it's going to be the step in the right direction, most certainly. Just on another hand, what else I was going to say, this is a perfect week also if you can start new things, if you can start new projects. And also on another hand, all sorts of good, positive, optimistic, powerful rituals you can be a part of, or you can start, you can make it happen, because most certainly this week the energy is going to be on your side, in particular when it comes to not only your creativity, not only a positive energy, but it's a lot about your personal projection that it's also going to be a rather rewarding, not only this week, but it's also going to be pretty much significant throughout the actual month. So this week it's also going to be a moment like, ooh la la, it's really all connected. You will realize that you're part of something really big. But also, on another hand, that is going to make you feel really good. That is going to make you feel really brilliant. And it's just going to beautifully boost your confidence. Okay? And also, the power of manifestation will be very, very strong this week. And subconsciously, something is going to come to you. Please pay attention to what is the very first thing on your mind every single morning. You need to pay attention to, because at around the midweek, something is going to be revealed to you. And that revelation that you're going to have, it's most certainly going to come to you the first thing in the morning, and then later on it's just simply not going to leave you. It will not want to leave you. So this is also going to be something that is going to be so important for you, to understand certain issues around you, but also what your next step is going to be. Just remember that you will be under a little testy test, and that test is going to make you feel like, oh my God, a fear of the unknown. No, baby, no. You just go, ooh la la, go with this wonderful, beautiful, amazing, powerful flow. And almost instantly, you are going to realize that there is nothing to be scared about. There is nothing to fear about. It's all part of your own personal process, but also part of the little test that you are going to be. Challenging situation in this particular way, but most certainly, just go for it, because through the actual fear of the unknown, not only you're going to have a really important progress, but this is going to be such a absolutely ridiculously powerful moment when it comes to the actual future planning, because something is going to come to you, my baby. Something is going to come to you, and it's the idea. It's a powerful idea that you need to watch for. I'm just gonna see what is going to be your oracle card this week, my gorgeous Aries. Your oracle card this week is going to be bam bam bam. It just came out by itself. Ooh la la, my babies, look at this. A happiness. This is beautiful because you're gonna discover your own happiness. You're gonna discover your own direction. You're gonna discover the actual new dimension. You just have to ignore the negativity and just trust yourself. It's about you. The happiness comes from within, from the inside. So this is a week of your powerful enlightenment indeed. Okay, so really powerful adjustment that you are going to have, which is most certainly on another hand going to it's going to pave the road towards your own happiness. Just be brave, my gorgeous Aries. It's time to be brave indeed. Love you. Bye bye. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous and my ever so precious, my beautiful Taurinis, my gorgeous Taurus, my beautiful Taurinis. You know what? It's gonna get you like this week, like, oh my God, like literally like this. Somebody really beautiful in your life, somebody really significant in your life, somebody really powerful in your life, somebody who you really mean a lot, to that person, and that person means a lot to you as well. It could be like a really important, powerful family member, but it could really be somebody, if you haven't got a family, it could be really somebody around you, somebody who you really look up to, like a really good friend, because friends are like our families basically. So this is what I was going to say. It's important to pay attention to what this person is gonna say. It's important to pay attention to what this person is gonna do, because it's gonna be absolutely brilliant. And through this particular person, you are going to come to terms with a certain like undecisive situation in your life. But most importantly, your eyes are going to be open and you will know what I mean, because it's a lot about to do with what this person is going to do, what this person is going to say, but it's about the actual inspiration, beautiful, powerful inspiration that is going to be like a gorgeous tonic for yourself, my gorgeous Taurini, because it's going to rejuvenate you very powerfully. And when I say that you're going to be rejuvenated in a powerful way, it is just going to really boost your confidence. It is going to boost your energy, because the inspiration, it's a very powerful feeling. It's a very powerful energy that can do so much, that can actually really release so many blockages. So there is a particular blockage, like an energetic negative blockage that you have, that is at the same time going to be released, through this particular situation. So this is what you need to watch for. On another hand, an important news you are going to hear as well. An important news that is concerning many people, but at the same time it's just all about the actual confirmation that you are going to have at the same time, my gorgeous Taurinis. And this is going to be important because it's going to help you to realize the new perspective. There is an important perspective that you are going to have, like also an option, at around the end of the week. And you will know that this option is going to see you out. This option will see you through. This option will be like a really strong, powerful rock at the same time that is going to be so beneficial for you in so many different ways, because it's going to enhance your energy. And at exactly the same time, at exactly the same moment when you need it, you're going to have like a really moment like, you know what, I'm just going to be paving my own road. I'm just going to be like a focusing on my own direction. And I'm going to also ignore things that are maybe happening around and things that have been kind of influencing you a big time. You must kind of like understand and realize that sometimes there are certain things that are happening around us that affect us in many different ways, and it affects our energy because it affects our mind. Therefore, it affects our way of thinking, and that ultimately affects our lives in general. And this is something that our energy can kind of like really feel pretty much much so. So this is going to be quite powerful moment of, with the actual grounding that you are going to have. Expect a bizarre and strange and unusual situation as well. You will see something. You're going to be part of this progress, part of this process where you're going to find yourself like being in a completely different element. Something is going to happen at a time when you least expect it, and it's going to kind of really raise your vibration in many different ways. But also, most importantly, your intuition is going to be like, ooh la la, like pretty much so very strong and very powerful. That in itself, it's going to kind of like already let you know. But this particular feeling that you're going to have something, it's going to be bizarre, it's going to be very strange. It could be a person, but it could be like what I see, it's more like the actual part of the dimension that you're going to have, that you're going to be part of at the same time. So you may go somewhere and then you feel like really strange, and you feel like really bizarre, you feel unusual. Maybe you will feel like a temperature change. Maybe you will see like the certain numbers repeating. Maybe you will look at your phone and maybe somebody next to you is going to say this particular word that you're looking at your phone, and then somebody says it at the same time. These are all a little important signs that you are going to have before you have some kind of important realization, through this quite unusual situation. But the bottom line is, it's about the perspective that you are going to have at around the end of the week. And this perspective is going to be absolutely everything, because it's at the same time going to start the process, the progress of a rather magical unfoldment in your life, my gorgeous Taurinis, Also, you will feel like a really good energy this week. The energy is going to be quite bouncy. The energy is going to be quite significant. And that in itself is going to reflect on you beautifully, because it is also going to make you feel quite optimistic. And that optimism, it's going to surprise you. I say that optimism is going to surprise you. I'm not saying that you're sad or anything like that. Please, no, baby, no. That optimism is going to surprise you in a way, because it's going to enhance your power. So you're going to find yourself like dealing with some kind of issue in the situation that is no longer serving you, and it's really annoying. It's not meant to be there anymore, but you wanted to do this before, you wanted to deal with this, but you just didn't come around it, you see, so far, because you were just uncertain about your own feelings and emotions and the ways things are going to unfold. So this is what wonderful outcome is here going to be, because you will really put an end to an situation that is no longer serving you anymore, and you're going to surprise yourself, and you're going to be proud of yourself, my gorgeous Taurinis, as well. This is all due to this important balance that you will have this week. Expect, my babies, a little bit of justice as well. The justice moment, when you hear something about the justice, you will know, ding dong, this is going to be an important time, because this is going to be the time when there is an advice going to come to you, a really, really powerful advice, but it's not going to be direct, my darling. So it's going to be on you to dig it out. Diggy, can't you see? No, it's going to be on you to kind of like to basically dig this situation out. It's important. One more thing, no, a couple of more things, my gorgeous Taurinis, it's the success. This is an important time, because you will feel like a powerful security when it comes to the actual success. You're going to hear an important progress, when it comes to you, and when it comes to your materialistic attainment, you're going to find yourself in an advantage. And this is very good, because it's going to reflect on your well-being at the same time. It's to do with the good health, So basically, this is on one hand, if you had like a very long ailments, and you didn't see, if you were unwell and you didn't see any progress, this is going to be an important week when it comes to the actual progress. But then on another hand, my gorgeous Taurinis, it's about the actual fact that you should actually ground yourself this week. Try to meditate a little bit this week. Try to reconnect with the nature as much as you can, because this week it's going to be super rejuvenating when it comes to you, and when it comes to you feeling the nature, when it comes to you feeling this energy, it's going to be wonderful. On another hand, this is all about the victorious moment in time that you're going to have, about the difficulties being coming to an end, but it's to do with the stability and an important wish, the progress with an important wish is going to take place, but this is also like to do with the slow progress and the slow process that you were waiting to actually happen. You know, it is going to be a little bit of a challenging situation, but most certainly it's going to be really, really good, because you are, by the end of the week, you're going to find yourself, you're going to feel really good about yourself, the way the week is actually going to progress. So now I'm just going to shuffle these oracle cards, and I'm going to see what is your oracle card going to be this week. Okay, my gorgeous Torini, ooh la la, you see this, my babies? This is when I said, look, it's a release, you see? This is what I meant. It's all about rejuvenation. It's all about the energy. It's all about it's all about listening to ourselves. It's all about listening to our intuition. It's all about us opening to it. This is very important, because it's the time of release, you know? And it's all to think about, like, this week, what needs to go, what would you like to change. It's important because you're gonna have the power of this planning, which is, on another hand, every time when you get rid of something that is creating negative energy, and you need to see around you, what is this? You see every single time you do this, you know, something new is gonna come back, something new, it's gonna bounce back as a reward, which is going to be pretty much so to do with your own personal power. Okay, so now, sorry. Bum ba-da-da-da-dum, bum 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 ba-da-da-da-dum, bum 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 ba-da-da-da-dum, my gorgeous Gemini, you are next. My gorgeous Gemini, you are going to have such a bizarre week, but good, strange, unusual, but really most certainly it's gonna be very, very eyes opening in many different ways. What is going to happen, my gorgeous Gemini, you are going to plant a little seed this week without you even realizing. Your words will be very strong. Your mind will be very strong. Your mind in conjunction with your words, when it comes to the actual manifestation, is going to be super powerful. But when that happens, normally we feel like a little bit sensitive, and that makes us feel uncertain about things that we are completely very strongly feel about. So this is something that you need to watch for. But your words are going to be very strong and very powerful, so try to like keep it really cool, baby. Try to, you see, try to keep it really cool, baby. You see, this is just going to be so annoying now. This is the first time that it happened this evening. My gorgeous Gemini. Oh, Lord. You see, I should have done this a long time ago, but, you know, what can you do? What can you do, my gorgeous Gemini? But it's just basically very important for you to remember to basically just be as optimistic as you can, and you will be under such a test where you're gonna like come so far with a certain direction this week, but you need to pay attention, because you're gonna come so far, but then at the same time you're just kind of, your energy is just gonna feel like a little bit drained, and this is what you need to watch for. This is something that is going to start making you feel quite indecisive in such a way where you're kind of, it brings you uncertainty. My babies, this is important. This is a beautiful little moment in time that I call it a bit of a rainy, stormy, but the actual, after the rainy, stormy, we've got a beautiful moment that is actually going to arise, and that moment is to do with your own enlightenment. So that's why the following week it's going to be an absolutely remarkable week when it comes to the huge, massive, enormous reward that you are going to have at the same time. But this week, just remember to stick to your guns. Just remember to stick to your planning. Just remember to stick to yourself and try not to change your mind, because someone is going to try to like do a bit of a naughty on you, but not like naughty in such a way I don't like it, because it looks like somebody's gonna kind of try to be a part of of the actual adjustment or edit, but maybe they shouldn't put their little fingers there, you see? And that's why I'm saying that this is going to be on you, and this is going to be up to you. That person may find you somehow in a little bit of sensitive moment where you just kind of start seeing things through a slightly different eyes, but it's just so important to say to stick to your plan, my gorgeous Geminini. The more persistent you are, the more powerful outcome later on it's going to be. The more persistent you are going to be with your plans, with your ideas, with your process, with your progress. Just remember, it is all boiling down to the same thing, where you're just kind of like, you are gonna have a really beautiful and powerful explosion of feelings and this powerful vibration and energy. But before that happens, it's just a moment of uncertainty. You need to see what this moment of uncertainty is going to bring, because at the same time there will be a beautiful and powerful answer. At the same time you will hear a quite significant news, and that news that you're going to hear will be very good, because it's going to confirm your own security. And this is important because it's just going to be something that you have been waiting for, and something that was maybe making you feel like a little bit scared, or something that was making you feel uncertain, over the last few months. Now this week you will have a really beautiful moment of radiance that is also going to bring you an important wake-up call. When it comes to the focus, you will realize how powerful something is in your life, how strong and how significant and how enhanced and how energetic is the certain part of your life that you need to pay attention more, because it is just going to activate you in so many different ways, but it's going to bring you a really an unusual situation later on, when you're gonna come to terms with a certain problem, and then that progress, it's also going to make you become the part of the situation that you wouldn't normally be. And this is all going to be an important sign of your own rebirth. So you will know that very soon, my gorgeous Geminini, a big cutty adjustment is going to need to be made. But seriously, it's just so important to say, this is all about, this week is important when it comes to your prosperity, when it comes to your security, when it comes to your personal safety, and also an important a week when it comes to your family. If you haven't got a family, it's an important week when it comes to you and the people who are the most important to you at the same time. I do want to say that something is going to be will be playing an important role when it comes to your ancestors, when it comes to the people from your past, and when it comes to your ancestors, because there, through your own ancestors, you will also get hold of the very powerful confirmation, which is on another hand also going to bring an important new promise. It's to do with the idea, it's to do with the promise, but it's also to do with who you are, and rather powerful vision at the same time. Okay, on another hand, an inheritance is very likely this week that it's going to be playing an important role. But also on another hand, you are gonna need to kind of like put a little bit of energy, because something is gonna be going around you, like a problem situation that is going to be surrounded by the people very close to you. But you're going to be the one who is going to be holding the answer, my gorgeous Geminini. Just remember, let me tell you, this week it's going to confirm the actual reward, reward from a very long process, just keep going. On another hand, I can see a little bit of concern that you are going to have, and I can see the little bit of unhappiness that you are going to feel. I don't want to be like a dark Lala, but I'm just saying that this little bit of unhappiness and concern that you are going to have, it's pretty much so to do with your progress and to do with your process and to do with a stale moment, but also it's to do with a vision, because something was kind of stopped, something is not going as fast or as quick as you would basically want to. So now you will have an indication motivation, about the progress. So, when you feel like a little bit unhappy, maybe, or if you feel like a little bit sad, if you feel like a little bit of concern, you will know that now basically this is also going to be followed by quite important realization that you're going to have at the same time, an important progress, an important continuation. It's to do with the actual vision. It's to do with a limited success, limited, not unlimited, but it's to do with a limited success. But that in itself is going to be important because it's going to release you. But then on another hand, it's going to get your mind going, on other things as well, because there is something else that is going to come up that is going to take your focus. Just pay attention to the certain vision that you are going to have, okay? And also important time also for you to try to meditate, try to connect and reconnect with the nature, because by doing this you're also going to realize the certain potential. It is going to refresh you, it is going to re-energize you. I know it sounds bizarre, but the forests, are full of spirits. The forests are very powerful. They have got a very beautiful energy, that works really well with us, and that in itself is super powerful and important when it comes to our subconscious mind at the same time. So there is a potential that is also going to be revealed to you. And look at what is here. Abundance, you see. It's to do with an abundance, and it's to do with a surprise. It's to do with a new direction. It's to do with a new dimension. It's to do with a new option. It's to do with the actual vision that you are going to have. But it's also going to happen at around the time where your radiance is going to be super powerful, super boosted. So therefore, you will be benefit from it quite a lot. Which on another hand, abundance. You see, whatever you do and whatever you put your projection to and towards this week, it shall come back so beautifully when it comes to you, when it comes back. On another hand, it's important when it comes to negotiation. If you need to negotiate, start new progresses and new processes, just go for it, because the abundance is basically here. So this is very important, my gorgeous Geminini, but it's also a very good sign. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Cancerini. My gorgeous Cancerini is just basically, it is just like the situation that you are going through in your life at the moment is just like a little bit different. This time lately for you feels like a little bit different. This time looks like a little bit like unusual, but this is also nothing unusual because of the things that we have all been going through, worldwide. People have been affected in different ways without even realizing, because there are a lot of things that we are part of, that are part of our subconscious mind that we are not even aware of, the way it's actually affecting us in so many different ways. You're very powerful, Cancerini. You're very significant, and when it comes to these feelings and these emotions, they do tend to affect you in this particular way. Now this week, it is just going to be like a little bit of like a deep week, but this deepness, it's also very powerful. The more deep you feel, the more you want to like kind of swim, deep, within your own emotions, the more deep you want to swim, the more you're going to get out of it. The deeper you swim, the more you're going to rejuvenate yourself at the same time. So this is like a blessings that you're going to have, a literal blessing, my gorgeous Cancerini, because you will feel very deep, and this deepness is going to right at the beginning of the week, it's going to open your eyes. It's going to like kind of like make you aware of the certain progress and the certain process, because that deepness is also going to be connected to your own psychic feelings, and this in itself is going to be pretty much so important when it comes to your own intuition. So you will realize something, through these emotions, through this feeling, and what you're going to realize, it's going to be a wake-up call. On one hand, you will realize how powerful and how significant and and how courageous you are. But then on another hand, it's all about this wake-up call that you are going to feel, that you are going to have. And it's just also like, on one hand, it's going to be a lot about a certain confirmation, but then on another hand, it's just going to be so like, why don't I want to do this? What am I waiting for? It's time, it's time, it's time. Now, my gorgeous Cancerini, it's all about your time. It's time, it's time, it's time. You know, to just go for it and see what is going to be unfolded like by the end of this particular week, my gorgeous Cancerini, because on one hand it's gonna be like connected to the certain problem, but then on another hand it's also going to be the conclusion that is most certainly going to be followed by this process and progress at the same time. It's about the unfoldment, which is just going to really inspire you at the same time, and then later on, 3 weeks later, it's going to be pretty much so powerful when it comes to the actual celebration, you know, through this inspiration that you are going to have. Because the problem, you will know what to do, you will know where to go, but also there are a couple of things that are going to be absolutely major by the end of this particular week, my gorgeous Cancerini. You know, it is just going to be the very powerful week when it comes to the actual memories, you know, and the past influence. You're going to find yourself like, oh my God, like thinking about good things that happened to you in your past, and it's just gonna, like, every time when you're sitting and when you drift away, when you have a bit of a lucid dreaming, or when you're meditating a little bit, or when you just before you go to sleep, this is when you make a connection with your subconscious mind, and then everything becomes so super enhanced, you know. But it's important to say that there is also going to be an absolutely remarkable reflection from the past that is actually going to bring you an insight. Just remember, the week, this is the way your week is going to start. But something is going to be like really driving you nuts a little bit. Something is going to kind of like making you feel like you want to do more, you want to maybe explore more, you want to try again. But this is not where the answer is actually going to manifest. This is not when the answer is going to start, but it's most certainly going to start taking you into this powerful vibration, which is on another hand going to later on ultimately connect you to this reflection from the past that is going to bring you an insight and most certain resolution of an absolutely annoying problem, you know, that you had, something that was slowing you down over the last 3 months in particular, my gorgeous Cancerini. And it's about a conclusion which is going to bring a beautiful moment of solace, beautiful moment of healing. You know, it's about a satisfactory result. You're going to hear a very good news, my gorgeous Cancerinis. And I'm so happy about this because it's at the same, you see, I'm so happy about this good news that you're going to hear, because this is to do with who you are. This is to do with your passion. This is to do with your own spirituality, but it's also to do with the time when you felt really bad, when you felt really negative. And it's also going to provide you with realization. Thank you, Lord, because the worst is over. So this is to do with the stage, you know, this is to do with the process and the progress of your life, my gorgeous Cancerini, where you will simply know that the actual worst is over. So this is to do with like a negative feelings, it's to do with the fears, it's to do with the things, you know, around you that you can't really do much about, or you can't really influence so much, you know, in your life. So this is actually going to be really, really good, my gorgeous Cancerinis, indeed, you know, because it's like, it's just basically about a time when you were quite worrying, you know, and now this is going to also be the time of release, you know. I want to say this, and this is really important, you know, quiet change is going to start taking place this week, my gorgeous Cancerini. Quite a change, but you must realize and understand, you know, that sometimes, you know, things change. Sometimes, you know, we come to terms with things in a different ways through different situations in our lives. And sometimes we just have to be really open-minded and just go for it, because something is gonna take place this week, and it's just going to kind of be connected to the sign that something is coming to an end, my babies. Something is going to come to an end because your spiritual journey with this situation is coming to an end. What you need to do in return, you must not be resistant to change. That's what you need to remember. You must not be resistant to change, because the changey it's going to come like this, knocking to your door. But before that happens, you will see something, you will become aware of something, and you will also feel like, oh no, maybe I'm not too sure. Resistance to change. No, baby, no. You just follow your instinct. This resistance to change is just a sign that something is slowly going to come to an end. But this is going to be really good, because at the same time, this is marking an important completion of your own success. And now, my gorgeous Cancerini, you are about to go on the next stage of your particular journey. So I think that this is really powerful moment in time, and you're going to be wondering about something, you're going to be thinking about something, and you just go for it. You need to be really as open-minded as you possibly can, my gorgeous Cancerinis. It's rather important. Oh, dun 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 dun. Freedom, ba-da-bam-bam. So basically, now this is important, because for once you will hear, you will feel, you will sense, you will benefit from the word freedom. Okay? On another hand, the new door are about to open. And when the new door open, almost immediately you will feel this vision. There is the vision that you are going to have, vision that you're going to feel. You also need to pay attention, my gorgeous Cancerini, what is the very first thing on your mind in the morning, because it's going to have the connection to this. But before this happens, my babies, before you spread your wings, you need to go through the actual transformation first, which is going to happen this week, okay? But then once that happens, the new door are going to take you where you need to go. This is a very, very ridiculously important week for you, my gorgeous Cancerini, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about it's Leone, my gorgeous Leone, my gorgeous Leones, my beautiful Leones, you are going to have your moment, my gorgeous Leones, you are going to have your moment. I know that there's a little pressure slowly building, little pressure is building, but then at the same time there's little pressure around you that is building. It's building purely because your life was not that long ago affected by the certain influences that have not had much to do with you or with your own actions, but it's to do with the energies that were happening around that you have also been pretty much so affected by. This is an important pressure that is actually going to start building in your life this week, because it needs to get to this moment, to this point, in order for you to come out of it. This week is just like an amazing tunnel that you're actually going to go through. An amazing tunnel where you're going to find out an important news. Okay? And you're also going to find out, the way out of an absolutely annoying stage, annoying period in your life that is no longer serving you. It hasn't been serving you for a while, but you just need to remember it's all coming from here. It's all coming from inside. It's all coming from within you. You are absolutely going to grow so beautifully when it comes to your own spirituality. This is going to be a very big moment that you are going to have, a very big progress, It's to do with the actual satisfaction, It's to do with the justice. At the same time, when you hear about an important justice, that particular moment in time, it is not going to be that long. It's going to be followed by the actual advice. The advice that you are going to have at the same time is just going to kind of be like a kind of connected to the actual challenging situation, and it's going to be connected to you wanting to make certain changes in your life, but it's also going to require from you to make certain changes when it comes to some kind of traveling, some kind of journey. Something is going to be connected to this. You will see this is not the process in itself, but later on this type of traveling, this type of journey, it's going to be connected to this particular situation. Rather challenging, but most certainly the outcome is going to be absolutely remarkable. You may not travel or have a little journey like this week, but when the second stage of this tunnel takes place, which is going to be full of light, full of enlightenment, full of positivity, that time it's going to be the second stage of this particular progress. But most certainly, you're gonna on one hand come to terms with the problem, but then on another hand, you're gonna realize that, the things that have been making you a little bit sad, and the things that have been making you negative, the things that have been bringing you down, you're gonna realize this week that it's time to turn this around. It's not like, you're going to be sad, you're going to be negative. No, baby, no. It's like a negativity and sadness, but not quite yet, baby. It's like a negativity and sadness, but not quite yet, which means that you're slowly reaching this stage, you're slowly reaching this element that is just going to become crucial for your own personal unfoldment, because it's going to strengthen you so much. It's going to give you power. It's going to make things really vivid around you, but then at the same time, this is going to bring you perspective and make you realize a perspective, and it's also going to enhance you. So this energy, when you realize, it's connected with the things before. It's connected with the things that have been going on and happening around your life, in your life for the last 7 months, within the last 7 months. And this is why this is going to be like, ooh la la, quad vavavumish momentino. Indeed, my gorgeous Leonis. But it's important to say that moment in time when you feel like a little bit of sadness, if you feel like a little bit negativity, like just a little bit of like a sadness and negativity, oh God, and it's to do with the progress and process that didn't work out the way you wanted it, that now this is going to be the sign for you that at the same time this energy is just going to have such a wonderful flip-flop moment, which means that at the moment in time, you see the sadness, like it's like basically like your blessing. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're going to be the sad Lala throughout the week, but I'm saying that you're going to reach the moment when you're going to feel a little bit negative, a little bit sad, a little bit down, a little bit low. But this is going to be like, oh my Lord. At that moment in time, you just need to understand that there is a number 8 will be playing an important role. Number 8 is going to be playing an important role when it comes to the answer, when it comes to the timing. But most importantly, you will know that this is just going to start changing, and there is the whole new perspective that is going to come forward, which is on one hand going to provide you with a new option, a new direction, but on another hand, it's all about yourself, enjoying your life, living your life, and doing things that you want to do, doing things that makes you feel happy, doing things that make you feel excited, doing things that make you feel good. And this is the best way to raise and to make your vibration really powerful. So this is a really good moment in time that at the same time, my gorgeous Leonis, you are going to have a really powerful moment in time when it comes to your own enlightenment. By the end of this week, you will have an enlightenment, and also the good news you will hear And this is going to be so good, very complex in many different ways, because it's just connected to the different parts of your life, but it's boiled down to an important satisfaction when it comes to your feelings, when it comes to your emotions, an important satisfaction. That in itself, it's also going to be a beautiful golden confirmation by itself, because pretty much so very soon somebody very special, it's about to enter your life and play a very important role in your life indeed. On another hand, you will hear the news about an accomplishment, and this is important because it's going to bring you joy, it's going to bring you a really beautiful level of devotion as well. But then on another hand, it's a wonderful happiness that you are going to feel and the pleasure in your beautiful daily existence. And this happens after the period of uncertainty and negativity, and when we wait for something and it doesn't happen, when we wait for something and we become a little bit bored, and that creates in return this uncertain situation which kind of slow things down a little bit for us. So this is an important week when it comes to this particular movement, because sincerely you will feel like, oh la la, very rejuvenating in many different ways, and you are going to make a very important judgment. And this is so powerful, my gorgeous Leonis, because you're going to be like tested a little bit. And this is all part of the test. And you need to make sure that you understand this. It's important because somebody's going to wind you up. Somebody's going to make you feel like, oh God, I don't like them, or something like that. Somebody's going to make you feel like uncertain. Somebody's going to wind you up. But at the same time, it's so important to understand that this is the test, a little bit of a karmic test that you are going to have. So karmically, karmically you are going to be tested. So you will need to remember that you need to forgive, and forget. It's really important to forgive and forget whoever kind of winds you up, this week, and whoever does something to you. Just remember, it's important to forgive and forget. By doing this, you're just going to set yourself free, but also on another hand, you are going to skip to a really significant level, and in return, this is going to bring you such a powerful improvement when it comes to your own, not only personal development, but this is going to lead towards the actual success. It sounds bizarre, I know, but this is all important to say because it's pretty much connected, because it's to do with the challenging situation that you're going to have. So this is going to bring you improvement, development, and absolutely remarkable time when it comes to promotion. And also, if you want to look for work, if you want to look for a job, if you want to try new things, if you are retired and you want to think where you need to improve in your life, ignore any negativity, ignore anything around you that can bring you down and put you in a certain frame. Just go for it. It's to do with the actual important outcome of the past effort that you're going to have, that is most certainly going to lead towards something really big later on, because it's connected to your own personal rebirth. This is a very important week when it comes to your future. Just remember, my gorgeous Leonis, this is a very important week when it comes to your future, in particular when it comes to your future planning. You will see, my babies, it will all make sense. So I'm just going to see, what is your oracle card of the week? No, those cheesy little songs, Okay. This came out by itself. Leonis, look how many cards you have. Leonis, you're having like a 10. Okay, so now, my babies, this is important. You've got 4 oracle cards. Number 1, remember, you need to think about your own flexibility. This is going to bring you an answer in itself. Okay? Number 2, you're about to take a risk, my gorgeous Leonis. Be strong, be powerful, have your eyes open, have your mind open at the same time. You're about to take a risk. Any risk you take is going to be great, and it's going to take you exactly where you need to be, where you need to go, my gorgeous Leonis. I'll tell you 2 more. La 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 la. You see what I mean? No, I still didn't change my light. Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm really terrible when it comes to these things. La 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 Leonie. And now it's all about going forward, my gorgeous Leonis. You see, it's all about going forward, and you can expect an adventure. And this adventure, it's not going to happen this week, but what will be going on this week is going to be leading towards this. An important change that you waited for a long time to actually happen. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Virgolini. 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 Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing Halle Virgo. My gorgeous Virgolini, my gorgeous Virgolini, you know what? Your frustration is slowly coming to an end. Something that was frustrating you, something that was bringing you down, something that was taking so much out of you, something that was affecting your energy, something that was affecting your balance, something that was affecting your way of thinking, something that was affecting your way on the way you view on things. You're powerful creatures, my gorgeous Virgolinis, and you're pretty much so in connection with the earthly energy like there is no tomorrow, my babies. You're aware of the things like never. But this is important to say because your balance is pretty much so like in conjunction with everything else that has been going on, like on a very, very important and very powerful scale, which means that on another hand, you have been affected by a lot of things, my gorgeous Virgolinis. We have been affected by a lot of things that have been going on lately. I know it sounds weird, it sounds bizarre, but sometimes, there's a lot going on in the world and it's not really the greatest. The world is a bit of an upside down world at the moment, and we know this. Indeed, we know this. It's an upside down. They want us to think what's good is bad, what is bad is good, and it's all upside down. And we just make sure that we stick to our way of thinking. We just make sure that we use our common sense and don't let this ludicrous people, this clown world, to actually try to make you to see things in this particular way, of course. So just use your own intuition with everything that's actually going on. The reason why am I saying this, sorry Virgolini, the reason why am I saying this, why I mentioned this, is because you have been affected quite a lot without you even realizing. This affected your way of thinking and it affected your energy, which on another hand made you feel quite drained, and on another hand made you feel quite tired. Sometimes we don't even notice this until we actually start progress in the process of change. This week is just going to be just like out of nowhere. From the very first thing in the morning, you will open your eyes and you're going to start feeling very firmly. You're going to start feeling very strongly. You're going to start feeling very powerful in these many different ways. And this is going to reflect on you so strongly. And it's almost immediately going to enhance your power, enhance your energy. It's going to rejuvenate you like there is no tomorrow, and it's going to be wonderful because it's just going to open your eyes so beautifully, and that in itself is going to bring you the power back, your Vavumish power, which is on another hand going to help you to have a control over situations in your life. I'm not saying that you didn't have a control over situations in your life, but I'm just saying that you are going to walk through a completely different door this week, my gorgeous Virgolinis, which is most certainly going to make you realize like what you were like, oh my god, what was I missing on? Why am I blocking myself from doing this? Why am I not doing this? Why am I kind of being affected by things, you know? And you will realize how much you were actually affected by things around you. So this is all going to be about you readjusting yourself at the same time, and that in itself is going to be an absolutely a powerful moment, because it's going to bring you a vision that is just, as the days go by, you're going to start feeling strongly about that particular vision. And it's to do with who you are, with what you want to do. It's to do with that essence, you know. It's to do with like, no, you live your life the way you want to live. You ignore the negativity. You ignore things that are bringing you down. You ignore things that are slowing you down. You're going to realize how powerful your personal bubble of the actual spirituality is, and that is going to reflect on you so remarkably, and on your own personal power. So this is when that frustration is going to come to an end. That frustration, because you will know exactly what to do. It's going to be like, oh, why didn't I do this before? And that in itself is going to create and make a wake-up call. The other things are really beautifully going to shake up as well, start shaking up themselves energetically, which is just all part of this actual new focus that you're going to have. And it's most certainly going to provide you with the beginning of an unfoldment. By the time you come to the end of the week, you shall absolutely feel so strongly about a certain decision in your life, which is going to require to you be you, listening to your own intuition and do what you want to do. Just remember, the power is within you, and you've got more resources than you possibly can in order to move on with your life. Midweek is most certainly going to bring you kind of like a bizarre situation where you're going to be tested a little bit, and you're going to feel like a little bit indecisive. But then again, you just have to follow your own intuition, because your own intuition is also going to lead you towards a powerful invocation. And this invocation is later on going to be connected to the certain celebration, purely because the conclusion, the problem, negativity slowly came to an end, and that in itself is really gonna be connected to the actual new life. It is not only the new door that you will go through, my gorgeous Virgolinis, this week. It's about the actual new life that is most certainly gonna start making sense. It's to do with an adjustment, readjustment, but most certainly it's to do with an important process and progress that you are going to become aware of this week, my gorgeous Virgolinis. This is super important, you know. And also, pay attention, my babies, pay attention. You know, this is a sacred week, you know, sacred, pretty much so. It's the week when, you know, something really annoying is going to come to an end, but it's also to do with a new beginning at the same time. You need to pay attention to what is calling you. Something will be calling you. But when I say something will be calling you, I'm not saying like, Virgolini. No, baby, no. I'm saying something will be calling you like, oh, an adjustment. Not an adjustment, sorry, but what is missing in your life, what you are doing right now. You could be working, you could be going to college, you could be going to university, you could be looking for a job, you could be retired, you know, you could be doing all sorts of things. But this week is just going to provide you with an important little spiritual bubble, which is on another hand going to surprise you. But then again, it's going to be an important progress, you know, an important process that will take place. It's to do with your own devotion. It's to do with who you are. It's to do with your soul. It's to do with your spirit. It's to do with your essence. It's to do with what makes you different. It's to do with what makes you happy. It's to do with what makes you ecstatic. But it's also to do with a new stage, a new option that is pretty much so required from you to pay attention to it, because it's to do with a little learning process. By the same time, it's to do with your own devotion, which is most certainly going to be connected connected to an important specific goal later on. You just have to trust yourself and to trust your instincts at the same time. What else I was going to say, this is a lot to do with like your own, like a kind of skill, but it's also to do with you projecting your own energy in the best possible way, because when we are doing things that we are need to do, when we do things that we are meant to do, when we do things that we like to do, then our energy is just so well balanced that we are super powerful whatever we do, whatever we focus on. And this is what I'm talking about. An important progress is going to start taking place when it comes to planting a seed. You're going to plant a little seed at the same time, my gorgeous Virgolinis, and you're not going to even be aware of it. The seed that you're going to be planting, it's going to become pretty much so, it's going to start its own progress. And over the next 3 months, this is going to take place. Within the next 3 months, 3 months later, this particular seed that you're going to plant, it's going to like really start growing right in front of you. And you're going to like it because it's going to bring you the whole new focus. And most certainly, it's going to make you so creative. And you're going to find out something very wonderful about yourself. Something that you're not doing, but you should be doing. Something that makes you feel really happy and ecstatic. And now, most certainly, it's time. You also, my gorgeous Virgolini, you are going to hear like a quiet good message indeed, and that message is like kind of connected to the last 8 weeks. Within the last 8 to 9 weeks, you were like kind of wondering about certain progress and certain process, and it was very slow and it didn't unfold as quick as if you wanted to. But then this is all to do with the actual swift activity, and an important sudden progress is going to take place. It's to do with an important movement, is to do with a certain speed, and it's also going to require for you to understand that this is to do with your own advancement. You are going to need to make a decision. You're going to need to make a decision then and there. So this is what I wanted to say, and it's important. When you hear about a certain progress, like kind of moving on, you know, this is the time when it's going to be required from you to make an important decision. It's very important for you to understand this. At the same time, I know, at the same time, you will know that not that long after that, there is a powerful message that you're actually going to get. This powerful message that you're going to get, it's on one hand going to make you aware of the certain manipulation. Okay, this is going to make you aware of the certain manipulation that you need to pay attention to, and it's very important for you to be aware of it because it's to do with who you are. It's kind of, it was affecting you, and maybe someone, you know, around you is like kind of starting to drain your energy a little bit, like a bit of an energy vampire. And when that happens, it's either people are just very heavy, people are draining our energy, you know, but then on another hand, it's also indicating the situation which is slowly coming to an end. And this like kind of energy draining in this particular situation means that you are just going to kind of start slowly. You're going to need to move away. You're going to need to start making certain adjustments and certain changes in your life, my gorgeous Virgolinis. This is very important for me to actually say, okay? So I'm just going to change this. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't I'm gone. You don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major Virgolin. Okay, so now I just don't know where is. I'm so sorry, my gorgeous Virgolinis, but this is just happening to me, and I'm so silly when it comes to these things. Instead of like making my life easier, I just make my life more difficult. But there you go. There you go. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's do this, baby. Let's do this, baby. Well, I heard there was a secret Virgolin. Yes, so this is a really important time. But then on another hand, you know, it's just basically, oh God, you need to understand how powerful you are, how significant you are, how strong you are. And sometimes because there is just so much going on in your life, you focus on things. And now this week, you focus on things and then you don't, wait just a second, you focus on things in your life. And sometimes maybe you just need to pay attention to what is going on around you when it comes to, we can be quite busy, there's a lot that can be going on in our lives, and this week in particular, a lot will be going on, but you must not miss the opportunity, but you must not miss the actual situation within your family or within the group of people. Someone is going to need your help, like big time. Your input is going to be needed, please. You karmically are going to be rewarded beautifully. It's not about that. It's not about that, of course. But there is somebody within your circle that is going to need your help. And on another hand, your input will be needed. Your input will be needed so much so. It's very, very important for you to understand that your input is going to be so needed. Okay, this in itself is just going to get back to you beautifully, but at the same time, as I said, it's not about that. It's about the progress and the process that is actually going to take place, and that in itself, it's also going to be connected to the actual activation. It's going to be connected to the creativity, and it's also going to help you realize something really, really quite interesting that you weren't actually aware of. One step at a time, my gorgeous Virgolinis, one step at a time. This is a great week for negotiations. This is a great week to start new things. This is the great week to taste new waters, and this is the great week for the adventure as well at the same time. Okay, because it is just all about the actual progress that is going to take place, by the same time it's about the time that you had like a delays and the lack of motivation. Now this is going to be really beautiful flip-flop moment. As the more active you are, the more inspiration and potential is going to be actually following through the following week. So your oracle card your oracle card of the week is my gorgeous Virgoline. Your oracle card of the week is happiness. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a happiness, my babies. You see, you're gonna feel really great, and you're gonna feel very powerful for the first time in a quite while. I'm not saying that you weren't happy, and I'm not saying that you were miserable or anything like that, but I'm just saying that this wonderful, powerful shift of energy that you are going to have, that you are going to feel, it's going to be absolutely remarkable. That in itself is going to start creative process. That in itself is going to rejuvenate you. That in itself is going to bring you a wonderful balance, and also it is going to really strengthen you in so many different ways. It's going to ground you, and it's going to help you, with uncertain situation that you have been going through lately. And now this week you're just going to find yourself in such a super problem solving mood, and that in itself, it's all part of this radiance that you are going to have, that you are going to be. It's all part of this wonderful and remarkable progress and process at the same time. Because you see, I had to take another oracle card out. I had to. Transformation, my babies. This is the one I was looking for. This is the one I was waiting for. When it comes to you, Virgolini. When it comes to you, my baby, you, my baby, you. It's a transformation. Look at this. This is in itself, this is like a blessing, in itself. Because on one hand, it means transformation. Very important progress is going to take place. But then on another hand, by the time you reach the end of the week, you're gonna feel like a new person. You're gonna have a new idea. You're gonna have a new opportunity. You're gonna have a new perspective, and it's all going to be part of this amazing, incredible progress, my gorgeous Virgolinis, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libera, 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 my gorgeous Libera. This is going to be like a melody. This is going to be your own melody this week. Something is going to be on your mind. Some kind of song is going to be on your mind. Something is going to be playing on your mind, you know. Something is going to be playing in your mind, maybe for a couple of days, maybe for 3 days, maybe the whole day long. But then at the same time, when something catchy is playing in your mindy, when something catchy is playing in your mind at the same time, my gorgeous Libra, you will know, you know, you're gonna hear a quite significant news, and you will like it. You will like it so much. It is not going to be with you directly, about you directly. It's not going to be said to you directly, this particular one, but most certainly it's going to help you to have some kind of perspective, that which is on another hand going to help you to ground yourself in such a powerful way, and it's going to confirm things to you. On one hand, it's going to be like a wake-up call, but on another hand, it's going to be to do with the focus, because you will be aware of an important timing you're going to be aware of. And number 11, it's also going to be making sense. Number 11 is a very powerful number, you know. Number 11 is a powerful number, my gorgeous Libra, and in this particular case, you can write this down on your hand. You can wear like some kind of like a number 11 in your pocket, or whatever you need to do, whatever you feel like it's the right thing to do, because it's going to help it to connect to this particular vibration, and that in itself, it's also going to be super powerful time for you. 11 means, you know, like when this is your lucky number, it means that you are really going to have such an important progress and process this week, but you may not even realize how powerful this progress and process is going to be, because it's going to start with something really little. It's going to start with something really tiny. It's going to start with something really significant, but then later on it's going to grow into something really huge, something really big, something really powerful. Number 11 in this particular case also means, you know, a very, very powerful opportunity you're going to have by the end of this week, my gorgeous Libra. And this powerful opportunity that you're going to have, it's not going to just happen straight away this week, but you're going to become aware of it. And this is also something, a sign for you to go for it. But at the same time, number 11 also means that this week it's all about a very strong and a powerful combination in between this world and in between the spirit world at the same time. At the same time, my gorgeous Libra, because there is going to be a very, very significant moment that you're going to have. Perhaps it is going to be the spirit, you know, from somebody who used to be in your life, maybe somebody who used to be in your life and somebody that died or passed away, and now the spirit is going to return. And before the spirit returns, it's just they basically maybe have a particular smell. People used to have, like, maybe they were smoking lots of tobacco, you know what I say normally. Maybe the people had a certain perfume that you immediately, oh my God, it's Maria or something, you know. It really depends, you know, the way you're gonna have this sign. But what my point is that it could be somebody or it could be temperature drop, okay, but if it's not somebody who you used to know, it's going to be the spirit, like maybe the spirit that you don't know. Maybe it's going to be the spirit guide, maybe it's going to be a guardian angel. At a time when you feel a bit of like a strange a bit of bizarre energy, this is going to be the time when maybe the temperature is going to drop, or whichever sign you get, maybe you will see like a little bit of feather. It doesn't matter. This will be the moment, you know, when you see this, when you know this is the time for you to remember to ask a particular question, that you want to know the answer to ask particular question that you want to know more about, to ask particular question that is maybe confusing you. Ask loudly, okay? I would suggest to ask loudly that particular question, or maybe you want to know certain direction, maybe you are like kind of a little bit confused at the moment. However it happens, when you feel a little bit of spirit nearby, just remember that this is the time when you are going to be provided with an opportunity that if you ask the question, you know, ask it out loud if you possibly can. If you can't ask loud, out, maybe you're going to be in the classroom somewhere, but then maybe you can just ask, just concentrate and try to ask that particular question in your mind. Try to keep on repeating that question, and the answer is going to come through. The answer is going to come forward, and the answer is most certainly going to also be important when it comes to the very challenging situation in your life that is no longer serving you anymore, and you need to pay attention to it. You need to do something about it. You need to make a certain judgment in order to move on. This sounds very kind of a complicated a little bit, but it's not really. It's just you paying attention to when you are part of this quite unusual dimension, which is just at the same time going to work in your favor so beautifully, so importantly, and it's going to provide you a vision that you wouldn't normally have. And this is very important because at the same time it's to do with the waiting time, it's to do with uncertainty, and it's to do with things that have been happening in your life that you haven't kind of maybe been directly involved with, but they have affected you. So this is really important to pay attention to. On another hand, when it comes to the actual justice, you are gonna hear a very good news about a justice, which is gonna put a big smile on your face, and it's gonna be very, very personal to you indeed, because it's going to help you to see the way out of the situation. But then on another hand, if you want to start the process of justice, just go for it, because the energy is going to be on your side, my gorgeous Libra, indeed. So this is a very important moment in time. On another hand, what else I was going to say, when the certain progress of justice happens, you will also be, you will hear an advice that it's not going to be directly said to you, but you just kind of need to become aware of this energy, aware of this dimension, that there is going to be the advice that you're going to hear, but it's not going to be directly said to you. So it's going to be on you to find out. So this is all going to be connected pretty much. So it's all about this balance, force, and harmony that you are going to have at the same time. And also, this week is so good, my gorgeous Libra, because it's all about the actual progress. You're going to hear about the important progress. You're going to hear about an important growth through your own hard work. This is not something like from yesterday or from day before. This is a very special reward that you are going to have, my gorgeous Libra, at the same time. You know what? It's to do with the money, it's to do with the security, it's to do with the power. You are most certainly going to need to reorganize things. Please, this is very important for you to understand. You will become aware of the fact, and this is going to be big, my gorgeous Liberinas. This is going to be big. It's about the fact that you're going to be aware of, and you need to follow this energy, you need to follow this balance, you need to follow this dimension. This is good, this is important, because it's at the same time going to rejuvenate you like there is no time, like there is no tomorrow. It's going to rejuvenate your energy. It's going to rejuvenate your power. This will be very good and very important time of progress for you, but it's going to need reorganizations. Please, my gorgeous Libra, try to kind of reorganize things around you a little bit. Try to see what is kind of making you unhappy. Try to see what is making you happy. Try to see what needs more of your attention. It's important because this is all going to be connected. So it's to do with the results of efforts are nearly due. Okay, important efforts, but it's going to need a little bit of reorganization from you. And that in itself, to me, it means that you just need to kind of put a little bit of your wonderful vibration and energy towards it. Project your energy towards these things. And this is going to also at the same time going to become a beautiful moment in time when it comes to your own personal transformation, my gorgeous Libra. So this is a very, very important moment in time when it comes to the actual progress. On another hand, I can see you having a very successful dealings. Okay, which means any kind of dealings that you want to have, any kind of negotiations that you want to have, any kind of things that you need to do, but you just you feel uncomfortable, but you need to do them. Just go for it, my babies, because you're gonna have this sacred power around you, which is going to boost your energy. Not only that, this in itself is going to boost your radiance. For you're gonna do really well, and you're gonna surprise yourself, and you will see rewards you wouldn't normally see them. On another hand, my gorgeous Liberas, you know what? you are actually having a really good week. Oh my God! Libera, 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 libera. It's fantastic. Look at this, babies. It's all about the actual good news. You know, there will be a good news that you are going to have. There is number 6 that is going to be pretty much so connected to this good news when it comes to the actual timing. Okay, but also like an answer. But it's to do with a gain. It's to do with an advancement. You know, it's something what you expected, but it's also to do with desires that you are going to realize at the same time that are going to be just as important, because it's to do with the recognitions of abilities and an idea. Recognitions of abilities and an idea at the same time. Promotion is most certainly going to be something that is going to be on the cards this week. And if you're retired, for example, most certainly there's the new doors that are actually going to be open to you at the same time. Follow your intuition, because some kind of hidden agenda is going to become the part of your life this week. You're going to become aware of the hidden agenda through your own intuition, and do not ignore it. You need to follow it, and that in itself is going to connect you with your own essence, and it's also most certainly going to be directly connected to an important decision that you're going to make, and protect yourself and move on from the situation and people and dimension that no longer serve you anymore, because it's slowly coming to an end. And as soon as you're aware of the hidden agenda, you will know, ooh la la, this is the time now indeed. Okay, so now I'm going to shuffle this oracle card, my gorgeous Libera. Pam pararara libera. Libera. La 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 la. Oh my God. La 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 la. Enlightenment. Libera. This is powerful. It's a very good sign. It's a very important sign, and it also means that, you know, you are going to surprise yourself, you know, not by doing something, but you're going to surprise yourself how connected you will feel to a particular situation that is going to make you realize, oh my God, something changed, something really changed. And that in itself is going to be the moment when you're going to realize that this is all about your own enlightenment, my gorgeous Libra. It's all about you. It's all about your own understanding, and it's all about the way you view on things. You are going to have a remarkable balance this week, this balance back, shall I say, and you will be able to feel this, you know, and it's so significant because it's going to put a big smile on your face, but it's also going to have a quite absolutely mind-blowing revelation this week. At around the end of the week, you're going to have a mind-blowing revelation about yourself, and that on one hand is going to answer a very important question, but then on another hand is going to reveal something quite unexpected but really good, something quite unexpected but brilliant, you see. It's to do with you having a very special moment with yourself as well, which means that on another hand, if you meditate this week, or if you ground yourself this week, if you go into the forest for a few minutes, you know, something is going to come up to you, something is going to come to you, my babies, and it's going to surprise you, but it's going to be brilliant because it's to do with who you are. It's to do where you need to be, but it's also to do with the necessary changes that you're going to become aware of, okay? So anything to do with like spirituality, meditation, grounding yourself, just walking in the forest, it's really powerful and spiritual. It's going to reflect on you so beautifully. Okay, so now the next sign that my chair is making a noise. My chair is making a noise. Can you hear it? It's so annoying. I need to change my chair. I need to change my life. I need to change everything. I need to change my chair. I need to change my light. I need to change my room. I need to change my poster. I need to change everything. Oh my God. I need to change my candles. Anyway. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Scorpione. Scorpio, come out to play. Scorpione, come out to play. My Scorpione, what is this week going to bring you, my gorgeous Scorpione, that is going to shaky, uppy, a bitty? No, this is going to be really good. You know what? This week is just really, you're going to come to terms with something, and this is going to be really big. And it's going to be really important. And what you're going to come to terms with is just going to start, this particular process is going to start the very first thing in the morning, within the first 3 days this week. Within the first 3 days this week, just pay attention. Please, my gorgeous Scorpione, pay attention to, because there is something in particular that is going to travel to you. Something in particular is going to happen to you. Something in particular is going to become the part of your dimension, which is later on going to become an absolutely remarkable part of your life. But this in itself is going to come from a completely different dimension, from a completely different direction. This is really good. It's going to, on one hand, open your eyes. On another hand, it's going to make you feel really good about yourself. But then again, it's just going to surprise you because of the confidence that you're going to feel. This confidence that you're going to feel, sometimes you just need a little dig a little bit. Sometimes you just need to take that key and unlock the door, meaning sometimes you just need to step, make a first step in order to start this particular progress, in order to get into this particular dimension. We just need to work with it a little bit sometimes, but then again, at the same time, follow what is going to be on your mind the very first 3 days this week, my gorgeous Scorpione. It's very important because it's going to help you, to make an important decision. And yes, there is a particular situation, not situation, but particular word. It's going to be on your mind, and that in itself is going to surprise you, but it's also going to be connected to the progress and the process. But in particular, when it comes to the actual change and what you need to do in order to kind of follow this through, it's to do with the new beginning, it's to do with the new option, but it's also to do with all those things around it that were making you uncertain. But it's again connected to things that have nothing to do with you, connected to other things around you that affected you, but you weren't a part of this particular progress. So this is important to see what is actually going to be revealed to you. It's so significant when it comes to the actual, your own personal improvement, when it comes to your own personal development, when it comes to also an outcome of the past effort, because you are at the same time going to hear about the outcome of the past effort, and that is going to happen at the right moment, at the right time, because it's going to answer your question to you. And this is very personal, because you are most certainly going to realize, on another hand, what basically you need to kind of a change in particular to actually get to where you need to get in your life. This is going to be like a little stepping stone this week. This is going to be like a little bridge that you're going to go over, my gorgeous Scorpione. It's an important, because it's about a vision that you're going to have at the same time. And this is all connected to that particular word that I say that it's going to be on your mind the very first thing in the morning. On another hand, that word could also come to you while you're meditating as well, because you're part of this subconscious mind. You allow yourself to drift, and that drifting, it's also your energy, which enhances you in so many different ways, because it's enlightenment. It's the time of your enlightenment. So you allow yourself to reach this energy. It's very important. So you do this. We do this every night when we sleep. We do this the first thing in the morning when we wake up. We are pretty much so connected to all sorts of dimensions, because we travel, we have astral projections all the times and things like that. And this is why we are so wise. So, or it could be while you're meditating, while you're grounding yourself, also while you're walking into the forest. This is all kind of making you very in touch with yourself, and that in return helps you to understand things from a completely different level, in particular when it comes to your own enlightenment and spirituality, which we really most certainly will guide you all on the way. This is all going to be beautifully connected. On another hand, an important progress is going to take place, and what the progress is taking place, this is also something for you to pay attention to. What is going to work out for you this week? What good news you're going to receive and get that is going to make you feel really good? Pay attention to it, because there is a very important little realization that you're going to have, but it's going to be connected to the actual progress, and that in itself, by the end of the week, it's going to make you have the control over a situation like you didn't have in a long time, and it's going to provide you with a vision when it comes to the actual future planning. This is all about your own personal wake-up call. My gorgeous Scorpione, my lord, this week, listen, you are having a bit of a wheel of fortune, my gorgeous Scorpiones. You are having a bit of a wheel of fortune this week, You are going to pretty much, so it's about your destiny. This week it's about your fortune. This week it's about your fate. An important outcome is going to take place. This is absolutely remarkable, and it's to do with an advancement, but most certainly it's to do with an advancement for the better, because it's about the culmination. It's about an important conclusion that you're going to have, and you're approaching the end of the problem, the end of the problem, and this is when things are going to get interesting, because at the moment in time when you realize that you're approaching at the end of the problem, this is the time when you will know. You need to be aware of, my gorgeous Scorpione. Look, I'll say it again. At the time when you are realizing this, no, God, at the time when you are approaching the end of the problem, you will know, you see this, oh my God, I'm sorry. Yeah, at the time when you realize, my gorgeous Scorpione, that you are reaching the end of the progress, the end of the process, this is the time when unexpected situation is going to take place, you see. When this unexpected situation take place at the same time, this will be an absolutely remarkable, because it's all about the inspiration that you are going to have at the same time. It's going to make you feel very strong. It's going to make you feel really grounded, and it's going to be connected to the time that was bringing you down, that was really slow, that was making you feel really uncomfortable, and it's connected to uncertainty and delays and frustration and negativity and manipulation, and this is going to bring such a wonderful flip-flop moment, and things that were like kind of negative and bad are going to start making sense, but it's all about these unexpected events that will actually occur, and that in itself, it's going to require from you to act in a certain way, but without thinking. So which means that you're going to do something, you're going to act in a certain way, and you're going to be like, oh my Lord, what did I do? What have I done? But it's going to be a Scorpio, come out to play. But this is where the magic moment is going to happen, because you will do what you want to do. You will do what you needed to do. You will do what the best thing will do for you in order to get what you need to get, because it's going to come deep from your subconscious mind. And this is why this is going to be so wonderful, because it's going to bring a significant activity. It's going to give you a significant balance. It's going to help you so much when it comes to the actual abandonment. Abandonment. You will know that something is going to come to an end. Some kind of important abandonment will need to take place, and this is so significant, because on one hand, this is going to be a wake-up call, my gorgeous Scorpione, but then on another hand, something is really going to come to an end, and it's going to require a little bit of adjustment when it comes to you, but it's to do with an abandonment, which is going to be connected to something temporary for a while, and then you're just going to go on full on. But it's important progress indeed, my gorgeous Scorpione. And also, when it comes to the certain justice, you are going to hear about the certain justice, and this is going to put a big smile on your face. And if you do need to start the progress of justice or process of justice, justice, or anything that you want to do or discuss that you feel uncomfortable about, just go for it this week. This is important because the energy is going to be on your side, and you will achieve so much more by actually doing this, you know. And also, on another hand, you know, I know that you're going to be worrying about a certain loss, and you're going to be worrying about a certain loss perhaps, and this is going to kind of make you feel on guard, you know. You're not going to be too sure about your own personal security, but what you need to do, just remember to keep going. Just remember to be open-minded. And if you get to the point, if you reach point this week and when you feel like, oh, it's all too heavy, oh my God, I'm so worried, I'm so nervous, you know, just remember that the energy is going to be like a very flip-floppish, which means that it's going to be very powerful energy in a certain way that makes us, in particular you, my gorgeous Scorpione, when you feel like a little bit sensitive, because you're able to connect to these earthly energies like there is no tomorrow. So you benefit from them, these energies like there is no tomorrow, but they affect you in a slightly different way. So they can make you feel like a little bit emotional. So if you do feel uncertain and emotional, in particular when it comes to worrying, in particular when it comes to the certain loss or security or power and things like that, at the same time, you just need to remember that there is like the actual and important progress is going to take place. But before that important progress takes place, you will realize what were you in self-denial about. This is all about building yourself, building your character, and also doing the best possible thing that you could possibly do on your spiritual journey, because it's going to be connected to the perspective you want, no, to an important perspective which is later on going to take place. Okay, so now what am I going to do, my gorgeous Scorpione? I'm going to, also important thing to say, do not jump into any conclusions. Do not jump into any conclusions. This is something else that I wanted to say this week. Just remember that. I'm just going to, I'm going to shuffle these cards. My gorgeous Scorpione. This is what I said before, stand still. This means that there is going to be, you see, you will benefit from the situation every single day this week, you know, every single time when you're by yourself, every single time when you're like kind of in touch with yourself, every single time when you feel spiritual, every single time when you like wake up your eyes in the morning, every single time you go into the forest and try to reconnect and connect with yourself through the grounding, you know, there is going to be a powerful information that you're going to have. This powerful information that you're going to have, it's going to help you on one, you know, it's going to help you to open your eyes, but it's also most certainly going to start an important progress in your life. Someone in your life is going to need your help, my gorgeous Scorpione. Somebody very important to you is going to need your help. Okay, and look at this. This is why am I saying this, you know, reward. You will have a reward, you know. What you have been patient about is coming. The changes you've been waiting for are coming, you know. There will be the little challenging situation around it, you know, at the same time. But most certainly, a very important reward is coming when it comes to your patience. You have been patient, and now this is going to show you that the time of reward, my gorgeous Scorpione, it's coming. Okay, and it's also the great week to test the waters and throw yourself into as many opportunities and possibilities you possibly can, because you will surprise yourself. There is something that is missing in your life, something that you are not doing but you should be doing. So this is why this is so important indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful, my gorgeous, my powerful Sagittarini. Pam 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 pam. Pam 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 pam. Pam param pam pararam. Pam 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 pam. My gorgeous Sagittarini, you know what? It's just like the back of this beautiful, wonderful energy. But this is just so important when it comes to the actual activity from the very, very first 2 days this week, you know. And from the very first 2 days, you know, the 13th and the 14th of July, even the 15th, these 3 days are not only going to be very important when it comes to the return of activity and determination, but also pay attention to what is going to be happening to you, what will be going on, because something is going to take place which is going to surprise you at the same time. It's not going to be massive, huge, enormous surprise, but it's most certainly going to be like a very important confirmation. And it's to do with realization, it's to do with a significant continuation, but at the same time it's to do with something that you should be paying attention to, those things in particular that you are in self-denial about. This is very important because it's going to provide you with a direction. It's going to help you to reorganize your life later on by readjusting yourself. But to know the way you're going to readjust your life by following your own vision correctly. It's all about your own perspective that is at the same time going to become very, very powerful and potent rebirth. Indeed, you are going to start a process here, my gorgeous Sagittarini. You're going to start an important progress, and the progress that you're going to start is pretty much so connected to the actual spiritual seed that you're going to plant. When I say spiritual seed, obviously I'm referring to the fact that this week the energy is going to be on your side, will be very strong, and it's going to rejuvenate you. And this is when you're very powerful, my gorgeous Sagittarini. You are one of the most powerful signs when it comes to doing things, when it comes to making things, when it comes to being active at any possible moment, at any possible time, without letting yourself being affected by other things around you, by the negative energies, by the negative people, by the energy vampires. You're very, very powerful indeed. So this in itself is going to be a remarkable moment in time because it's going to surprise you. See, it's this particular seed that you're going to plant, which means that you will start a process of change. I know it sounds really weird without you even necessarily realizing this, and it's going to happen this week, and it's going to take an additional month, and then later on in 1 month's time you will know, you will be very much so certain about the new direction, about the new change, about the new stage. But it's going to be so much so connected to this particular week. And this is nothing unusual when this happens because it's all coming through your own activity and determination. Please pay attention to what is making you feel really determined. Please pay attention to also what is bringing you down this week. It's important because it's at the same time going to bring you the answer, and it's going to readjust you without you even realizing. This is a great week because you're going to hear an important change, an important news. Absolutely remarkable news, but this time this news is going to be to do with you, and it's to do with your personal progress, which is going to highlight things for you on one hand, but it's also going to make you even more determined to follow what you are experienced about. This is where it gets interesting, because you will come to terms with something, you will come to terms with the situation, and you need to trust yourself. It's going to confuse you a little bit. It's going to make you feel, oh Lord, I don't know what to do. But just remember, it's to do with you, it's to do with your experience, and only you know the answer to it. Only you know where to go. Only you know which direction to take. Only you know which step to take. This is an important time when it comes to your own experience, and you need to remember to be as authoritative as possible. You will come to the situation, there is going to be the situation that is going to require from you to be as authoritative as possible. It's very important, which is telling me to be strong. You will be tested, and you will be tested in such a way where you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm not too sure what to do. But just remember to be as authoritative. You will need to be authoritative. This is important because that it's going to bring you where your passion is. That is going to take you where you need to go. That is going to take you where you need to be, my gorgeous people, leaning. Okay, let me just do this, sorry. Bam 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 bam, dun 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 dun, na 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 na, dun 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 dun, bam 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 bam, ba ba da ba ba dum, dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. On another hand, my go to Sagittarius, it's just basically about, pay attention to this. The more active you are, the better it's going to be. I know I've seen this before, but this is important, especially when it comes to you, because your personal energy is very powerful. You can do a lot, you can achieve a lot, and you're very capable indeed. You can ignore so much around you, and that is your beautiful power. There is going to be an important idea that you are going to have. It's to do with an inspiration, it's to do with a certain design, and it's to do with you trusting yourself that you are ready for this. Because on another hand, you are most certainly, oh my God, Sagittarius, you're going to be the begin. You are going to have the beginning of an important adventure here. Okay, the adventure that you are going to have, it's going to come to you through your own enthusiasm. Do as much as you can. Throw yourself into as many opportunities as you possibly can, because as more active you are, the more powerful you are going to be. Remember, this is the reason, because this is your element, and this in itself, it's going to help you with your own enlightenment. And this is why, by being enthusiastic, you're gonna bring so much towards you that you wouldn't normally bring. Don't worry, it will all make sense. It's going to bring a new initiative, and it's to do with unlimited possibilities, and it's also to do with the actual like feeling really great, feeling really amazing, feeling really brilliant, feeling like you made the right choice. So you will be faced with a certain choice as well at the same time, and this is going to be quite remarkable, because it's going to help you with your own enlightenment. But on another hand, at the time before, you went through a certain situation where you had like a fear of the unknown situation that affected you when it comes to the future planning. So now this is going to have a wonderful flip-flop moment, and it's going to be a really gorgeous continuation when it comes to that particular situation. And on another hand, you are also going to become aware of maybe the certain dishonesty. Someone was kind of dishonest around you, but this is going to be really brilliant, because it's just going to show somebody's uncertainty and somebody's weakness, and most certainly it's going to confirm an important stage to you, because it at the same time you will approach the end of the problem, because that in itself is going to help you to actually make an important conclusion, to realize an important conclusion, and that in itself is going to be attached to the inspiration that you wouldn't normally have. So this is all going to be the part of the process, and it's going to be quite remarkable, because it's going to work in your favor. Very important moment when it comes to future planning, my gorgeous Sagittarius. Very important moment you're actually going to have. You're going to feel really proud of yourself, but then people around you will not be surprised, because they think you're incredible, they think you're amazing. So someone is going to tell you something in your life so beautiful this week, and you're going to like it. It's going to make you feel so good, because it's going to bring you up. Indeed. Okay, so now I'm just going to shuffle these cards. Okay, so now let me just see the oracle card. What is your oracle card of the week, my gorgeous Sagittarini? Pleasure, surprise, surprise. Follow your pleasure, follow your life. There is an important progress and process that you are going to become a part of, but also a very, very beautiful shaky momenty. Really important shaky moment you are going to have when you're gonna have a very enlightening realization, when it comes to you and when it comes to your life, but also what exactly you need to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to what makes you feel good. You need to pay attention to what makes you feel happy. You need to pay attention to what gives you pleasure in life. This is the week, this is the time when you really need to think about yourself, my gorgeous Sagittarini. And I say this because a lot will be going on without even realizing, but you need to remember that this is an important time when you need to think about yourself. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to do sorry, where are you gone, where did you go sorry Capricornius, 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 pam, 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 Capricornius, pam, pam, raise your energy, pam, pam, Capricornius, pam, 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 Capricornius, pam, 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 Capricornius, pam, 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 Capricornius, pam, para, pam, Capricornius, pam, 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 pam. My gorgeous Capricornius, you are like, ooh la la. You're gonna be like, you're going to have a quite psychic week this week. Do you know what I mean? Because you are going to live and learn this week, most certainly. Because there is somebody that I need you to be careful about. There is a little bastard here, my gorgeous Capricornius, and I want you to be prepared. I want you to be ready. Because these little bastards, when they appear in our lives, the little snakies, it's just they appear in many forms, many different forms, many different shapes, which means that it's not always very easy to kind of spot these people, because they are kind of part of the certain dimension and they're part of the certain energy that kind of makes them very thick on the outside. I don't mean them the way they are, but I mean their own energy. It's negative, but it's very strong. It's a very powerful, but it's not really good because it's really negative, and it's a lot to do with the people who are quite negative within themselves, but it's not necessarily that people notice this because of the particular balance in their own energy. It takes people a little bit longer to notice this, but then again, the way you are able to notice this and the way you are going to be able to notice this is by the actual feeling of, I'm not too sure. So therefore, what am I trying to say, my gorgeous Capricornius? I just need you to be a little bit careful, because somebody is going to be around you. Maybe it's going to be physically, maybe it's going to be like on the phone, maybe it's going to be like through an email, but you just need to be really careful, because there is some kind of like a negative person going to be around you who I don't like. Is this type of person I explained now, but it's like somebody who's using people, somebody who's very ungenerous, somebody who's like very greedy, and somebody who has got like a lot wrong with them. But as I said, this type of people are not always like as obvious to notice, because they're pretty much so very much into their own lives. They're very much into like things in their lives, things that they focus on, and it's really a lot to do with like materialistic things, and that particular energy has got the energy in itself, so that kind of affects their balance, so that gives them the certain grounding, and this is why it's very kind of not as obvious to notice them straight away. But basically, just be very careful when it comes to signing this week. Be very careful when it comes to like starting new things this week. Be very careful if you need to negotiate this week. I was just like kind of also trust your instinct, my babies, because with this type of people, you kind of know something may be wrong. something is not quite right. So this is how you will know that this is somebody to kind of pay attention to. So on another hand, just make sure that when it comes to starting processes like of negotiations or signing something big or starting something big or beginning something, please try to do the different week, but not this week, because you will protect yourself. This in itself is just gonna kind of like be followed by the certain obstacle as well at the same time, and the obstacle that you are going to have is just kind of going to be connected to the realization of you and somebody with an emotional immaturity as well. And this is how you will kind of know a bit more about this person, like it's to do with a certain emotional immaturity that is pretty much so going to be connected to this person. But you know what, that is going to be like a blessing in so many different ways, because at the same time, you will be having like a little obstacle as well. The obstacle that you are going to have will be super important for you, because on one hand it's going to help you with a certain manipulation. Somebody's going to try to I'm a little bit of a dark Lala this week, sorry. Dark Lala is here, hi darling. No God, no, it's to do with manipulation. It's just basically somebody's going to try to manipulate you this week, and that in itself is just it's going to be either you or it's going to be somebody who's very, very close to you. So this manipulation, it's also going to be quite important, because it's at the same time going to be connected to the certain judgment. You're going to need to make a certain judgment, and that in itself will need to be connected to you not feeling really bad, or not feeling really negative, or not feeling very low when it comes to that particular person who is actually manipulating. Either you or either somebody very close in your family. Please open your eyes. This is very important. It may not be you, but it could be somebody so close to you, and you will know this. You will become aware of this. And number 3, it's also going to be an important number. Number 3, when it comes to the actual time span. When it comes to the answer, when it comes to the actual time span that you're waiting for, that you're looking for, that you're wanting to find out, the actual time span is going to be number 3. And this is going to answer your question when it comes to the actual something that you will be wondering about when it comes to the particular timing. On another hand, just remember, this is an important time to forgive and forget. So anything, I know it's easy for me to say, but this is just also, this is going to bring you blessing, at the same time, because this is all kind of a little bit of test that you're going to be under at the same time. So any of these people that I've mentioned so far, any of these situations, you must not, oh God, I hate them. No, baby, no. Just remember, a little bit of negative situation, a little bit of a snaky in the grassy, it's also at the same time going to mark an important beginning, an important stage in your life, which is going to be bringing you the new perspective by the end of the week. And perspective I'm talking about, you're gonna well aware become become aware of it. You're gonna become aware of it. You're going to most certainly become aware of it. And it's all about the perspective, but also a bit of a wake-up call that you are going to have at the same time. You need to trust yourself, and you need to trust your instincts. And do not forget this, my gorgeous Capricornians. This is more important than ever. On another hand, this week it's very important when it comes to your own improvement, because you will hear about it. But also at the same time, wherever you put your energy, you will be able to take it so much further. You will be able to take this so much further. Your energy will be very powerful at the same time. Just remember, my gorgeous Capricornians, whatever you do, whatever you want to improve, whatever you want to work on, even if you feel like, oh my God, even if you have like the worst hangover, if you drink or whatever, even if you're really tired, even if you feel really negative, you don't have to worry, my babies. The energy is going to be on your side. So most certainly you will basically, you will be absolutely fine. But then again, at the same time, just remember, it's to do this week about, it's to do with your own improvement. So wherever you put your energy towards, it's going to be remarkable, even if you don't feel like it. And you will see exactly what I mean. So there you will find out and you will realize at the same time that there is something in your life that you're not doing and you should be doing it. And most certainly you should be paying attention to something. It will need and require your attention. Okay, my gorgeous Capricornians. And this is important because it's to do with your security, with your power and your own balance that may be affected at the same time. So this is very important. But on another hand, this is all about your improvement, development, and outcome of a very important past effort, which is going to lead towards your own personal rebirth. And also when it comes to the actual promotion, when it comes to the next stage of your life, whether you're working or whether you're looking for work, this is a great week to actually look for work. But also on another hand, this is a great week when it comes to your own personal improvement as well. On another hand, you will need to make a very responsible decision, very responsible decision you're going to need to start making. And it may not be like this week, it may not happen this week, but this week you're going to become aware of the fact that you're going to need to make a very responsible decision, and it needs to come from you. It's important to not to judge and not to jump into any conclusions whatsoever. And this is why I say it's not as such that needs to be done this week, because you must remember to not to jump into any conclusions, in particular if someone is trying to push you in, if someone is trying to hurry you up. Perhaps you will find out somebody's little hidden agenda at the same time along the way, which is going to be very beneficial for you, and it's going to open your eyes as well. But most certainly you will become aware of a very responsible decision that you're going to need to make. And just remember, it's to do with something that you were patient about, but you just also, it's connected to the fact that you need to be persistent. There is another task that you're going to need to do in order to get to the a very big stage of your life. And this is to do with things that you like doing, but also you're going to find out about a certain capability that you should be taking on the next place, on the next stage, my gorgeous Capricornius. An important organization, reorganization is going to need to take place, and you will be wondering this, is that person dependable? Is that person honest or not? There is someone in particular that maybe will need something from you and will require something from you, but you will kind of be thinking about that person, whether they're dependable, whether they're okay, or not. And most certainly it's going to be okay, because it's going to help you a lot with your own personal stagnation and stagnative period at the same time. Okay, let me just Capricornius, dun 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 dun. This is a gift for my exercise, baby. Oh my lord. You see, this has been going on for a while now. Capricornius, dun 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 dun. Capricornius, dun 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 dun. Capricornius, dun dun. Now this is gonna go on for 2 minutes. Alright, mate. Okay, God. Okay, so now Capricornius. Dun, dun, dun. Great week for healing. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so now what else I was going to say, my gorgeous Capricornius? I'm going to shuffle these oracle cards. Oh gosh. Wisdom. You see this? Very, very wise moment. You will be very wise. In this particular week, there is going to be one particular day in general. One particular day. You will surprise yourself. that one particular day you're going to feel a little bit different. One particular day this week you're going to feel quite unusual. At the same time, you'll be talking about things that will surprise you. You will be kind of like reacting and acting in a certain way which will surprise you, but it's going to make you feel like, oh my God, where did that come from? Where did I say this from? Just make sure that you understand and realize how you feel and what is also going to be provided to you, the option that is going to come through, the options that are going to come forward that you need to pay attention to, because they're going to come from somewhere very deep, somewhere very important. But most certainly, they're going to be the important part of this reorganization that I was saying to you before. Oh my God, how interesting this week is going to be, my gorgeous Capricornians, indeed. Okay, so the next sign, excuse-moi. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about now. Okay, the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's my gorgeous, I'm just going to take a little bit of water. Sorry. I'm going to, oh gosh, I'll just drop the card. Sorry, I just needed this water badly. Water is so powerful. Water is so amazing. Oh my God. You talk to your water, and then before you drink your water, you just say something nice to it, say something positive to it, say something that you expect from it. Say to your water how you feel about it, how much you appreciate this water, and at the same time you send this amazing energy to this water. I know it sounds crazy, but it is true. And you send this amazing, remarkable energy into this water, which returns back into you full of love, full of positivity, full of activity, and full of healing energy that it wouldn't normally be there. Water is healing in itself, but when you project your own power into it, then it picks it up. It's incredible, but it's true. And I'm talking about aquamarini. It's water. Of coursini. It's my gorgeous aquamarini. And I'm talking about the actual water. And it's not surprising at all, because you, my gorgeous aquamarini, this week it's going to start feeling very solid, It's just basically everything is going to start beautifully and rather gorgeously falling into pieces. But it's just basically about the actual uncertainty. It's, oh God, it's to do with an emotion. It's to do with I know I have seen this before, my gorgeous aquamarini, but it's up to you basically how you take this, because it's just, we are all vibrant. We all live different lives. We are all like sharing so much together, but we are all individually different spirit on a different spiritual journey, projecting things, going through things and feeling things in a different way. We all have a time that we respond to things, but we all have a time in our own time. And this is what I'm trying to say, basically. So it's to do with your synchronicity. It's to do with somebody. It's to do with someone. It's to do with a person in your life that within the last 11 months. But this is an important person in your life. It's not a Lala who you've just seen on the street, like, hello, darling, bye-bye. No, it is to do with an important, person in your life that you have made a certain decision around that person that wasn't the right decision, but it's just going to bounce back right now this week, and it's going to make you realize why did you make that decision. You took the wrong turn somewhere around that person, and this week this is going to become evident, because at the same time you're going to hear something about that important person in your life. But it's important to say that it's going to open your eyes, and it's also going to bring you the puzzle that it's missing missing in your life, because the puzzle that is missing in your life, that's been making your life uncertain, it's been happening because it's been waiting for this moment in time for you to realize that once you get this missing puzzle, which is going to come through the realization where you took the wrong turn within the last 11 months, that puzzle, or it could have been the last 21 months as well. But the last 11 months you have been like feeling it like kind of strongly, because it was confusing you, it was bringing you down, and it was affecting your energy. And it happens when we are surrounded by the little energy vampires, or the people who no longer serve us anymore. So therefore they just end up like sucking out and draining our energy. It happens when they're very energetic, they're like energy vampires naturally. Sadly, there are some people like that. But then on another hand, this is just happening because slowly your journey is maybe coming to an end with either like a certain particular person, or it's like to do with the situation that's surrounding that particular person. And once you realize this, my babies, it's the moment of ooh la la, of an enlightenment, my gorgeous aquamarini. But then on another hand, once that missing puzzle slides in, my babies, everything is going to change, and the whole picture is going to be completely different. Like within the next couple of days, something is going to take place, something is going to happen that is going to blow your mind. But my babies, you may kind of like do this in this particular week. You may make an important action or decision based around that, or you will be aware of it, which may take a slightly bit longer, but it doesn't matter, because this week is going to be absolutely crucial for that missing puzzle that is going to return into your life, because it's purely going to show you where the balance was missing. You're going to hear something, you're going to be aware of something, and this is where things are going to start changing, and this is when the things are going to start kind of like start rolling on for you, and it's most certainly going to work into your favor, because it's just to do with the actual also maybe to do with like a little hidden agenda. It's around that person. You're going to find out something that you maybe, oh Lord, through your own intuition, of course, this is going to be confirmed to you through your own intuition, because you were kind of thinking about this at some point, at some moment in time. So it's going to be like, oh my Lord. But then again, the bottom line, it's about the hidden agenda, and that hidden agenda kind of like was negative for you, because it kind of slowed you down a little bit, and also it was kind of manipulating. You're going to become aware of the certain manipulation at the same time. Okay, it's a bit of a complex, my gorgeous aquamarinis, but it's just this year has been a bit of a complex and a bit of an eye-opener at the same time. But also, when it comes to you, this is an important wake-up call at the same time. On another hand, you know what? Absolutely remarkable progress this week. This week is going to be brilliant. This week it's going to be full of action. This week you're going to be able to prove your point. This week you're going to be able to shower somebody with your love, somebody within your family, or somebody who's very close to you, somebody who's around you. You see, it's very emotional this week, but emotions are important. The way we act is important. The way we do things in life is important, because sometimes when we don't kind of solve the problem with people, then that catches up with us. But in between the lines, this is the main factor which kind of like slows us down, and it prevents us to move on in many different ways, in many different situations. And it's also kind of very important when it comes to our own personal release, when it comes to our own synchronicity. And this is why I'm saying it's just about the action. Also, it's a very important week when it comes to the actual certain female influence. There will be a female influence that will be very important, because that female influence is going to be somebody who is just going to be very much so motivate you. It's going to influence you in a really good way. Somebody who's quite successful, somebody who's quite powerful, somebody who's quite significant. The certain female is going to inspire scenario. And this is really important because on one hand, it's going to help you to kind of find yourself, to understand a certain situation, to understand a certain progress, to understand a certain outcome. But that in itself is even more importantly going to boil down to you, helping you to make an important, powerful, mature decision because of this female. And this is somebody who's very important in your life. This particular one is very important in your life. This particular one is very significant in your life. It's either family member, it's either friend. It's important because it's going to be connected to a mature and responsible decision that you are going to need to make, and it's going to boil down to reorganizing things a little bit, and it's going to bring you the highlight, the capability of yourself that you should be paying attention to, and most certainly it's going to start a process and progress which is going to take an additional 78 days to actually carry out itself. And by the time that happens, there is going to be the whole new enlightenment and activity and vitality that you are going to get at the same time, because it's going to be connected to the actual new beginning. But this is important because it's to do with the balance. The balance is going to start changing at the same time, but it's all about you realizing that you've got more resources than you possibly need in order to move on. Aquarius, see you later, bye. No, I'm joking. See you later, bye. No, I'm back. I'm just going to change the light, which has been doing this to me all night. Aquarius, 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 Aquarius. When the moon is in the 7th house, aquamarine is around the place. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on. I'm back. I'm back, 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 I'm back. My gorgeous aquamarine. So this is like really important, And also, what else I was going to say, my gorgeous aquamarine, that it's going to be quite important week when it comes to your own progress, when it comes to your own devotion, when it comes to the missing things in your life. There are two particular things that are going to be very overwhelming to you when it comes to you realizing that there is maybe with one thing it's going to be like connected to the success, but it's going to be and the actual limited success. Maybe this is going to surprise you a little bit, but then again, on another hand, the second thing that you're going to be kind of having your eyes open towards is the fact that a certain ending it's about to manifest, there's certain ending it's about to happen, but you just need to remember to not to be resistant when it comes to the actual change, because you will have a moment. You are brilliant when it comes to change. You are a change itself, man. You're brilliant when it comes to the actual change, but this particular one is going to make you wonder, so you're going to reach the very certain point, and that point is going to make you feel a little bit uneasy. Okay, and it's going to happen at around the time when you hear a good news as well about some kind of justice, some kind of success, some kind of triumphatic moment in time, which is on another hand going to be something that you expected. But at the same time, just remember that you will be provided with an opportunity and an option, but it's going to be connected to the change. You must remember not to be resistant when it comes to the actual change. You need to be as open-minded as you possibly can, because that in itself is also going to start an important process when it comes to your own rebirth. My gorgeous aquamarine, indeed. On one hand, there's going to be good news you're going to have when it comes to the actual gain, when it comes to the advancement. As I said, it's to do with your own expectation, but this is an important week when it comes to your security and power. You will know that, those elements of your life that you were worrying about, if it comes to your security, you're going to be absolutely fine. But it's also a great time and a great week to think about like a little investments, and also those things, little investment, not huge investments, but little investments, not to invest necessarily, but think about what you could build up, think about what you could invest towards, around you. It doesn't have to be this week, or it doesn't have to be something huge. huge, but just like a little things will go a long way, as long as you're connected to this particular energy of this week, my gorgeous Aquamarini, and you are going to be having like a sacred knowledge around you at the same time. So this is why this is going to be so important, because you are going to be self-illuminated like there is no tomorrow. Something is going to come through, something is going to come forward, you know. You will have a hermit moment one day. In this week, my gorgeous Aquamarine, this is another thing I was going to say. You're going to have a hermit moment where you're going to feel like, oh Lord, you know, I want to be by myself a little bit. I just need like a time on my own, like a day or half a day or 2 hours or 3 hours. It doesn't matter. When you feel like this, you will know, baby, an important vision is coming, an important vision is coming, an important vision is coming. And it's to do with your wake-up call. It's to do with your focus. But first of all, my babies, it is going to be connected to you, what you're in self-denial about, something that you're in self-denial about, and this is going to become evident. And as soon as you realize, the better it's going to be, the quicker you're going to move on from the situation, and the sooner you're going to start your own personal rebirth. This is important. So in one of these days, you're going to realize there will be a hermit moment, and the hermit moment means when you need to spend the time by yourself on your own. But in itself, this is a powerful time when it comes to your own self-enlightenment, because it's not only about, oh yes, spending time with myself, it's great. No, baby, no. But it's about being able to understand your situation from a very, very powerful angle. And that in respect provides you with like very, very deep understanding of your own spirituality, so you know which way to go. So an important moment is going to take place. And this was all about being indecisive about a couple of things. So this is going to be connected to an important decision that you're actually going to make. Aquamarini, and your oracle card, my babies, is la 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 la. Release, my baby, release. Look, which means take care of yourself. Try to drink as much water as you can throughout this week. You see, I started this reading with the drinking water. Surprise, surprise. Try to drink as much water as you can. That way you're going to flush out the unnecessary toxins. Try to drink as little alcohol if you're drinking alcohol. Try to have a really balanced diet when it comes to sugar, when it comes to coffee, when it comes to like smoking, when it comes to like things like that, you know. Try to cut it down as much as you can so you can make a very positive impact. On another hand, please try to visit a little bit of forest. Please try to connect yourself maybe next to the sea, next to the lake. You know, this is going to be very important when it comes to your own emotional balance, and this is going to help you to release the tension and negativity, and that in return, it's going to open the door for you. And before the door open for you, this is going to be connected to the whole new perspective that you are going to have at the same time, and you will do something so powerful that not only you will benefit from, but you're going to feel so proud. You're going to feel the greatest honor ever. And this in itself, it's all going to stem, and it's all going to come from you releasing yourself. So therefore you allow yourself to kind of like get hold of the information that is going to travel to you when you least expect it, and it's going to help you to make an important decision, which is ultimately going to make you feel so proud. So proud of yourself, my gorgeous Aquamarini. Okie dokie, love you. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Piscelini. Pam pararara Piscelin, tan tararara Piscelin, tan tararara tan tararara Piscelin, tararara Piscelin, tan tararara la 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 Piscelin, tararara Piscelin, my gorgeous Piscelin. You know, this is brilliant because I like like it. You're going to feel good this week, and most certainly it's going to start with the actual satisfaction. It's going to start with feeling good. It's going to start with feeling re-energized, and that in itself is going to be brilliant, because as I said, at the same time you're going to hear about a certain accomplishment, and that in itself is going to give it the greatest satisfaction ever. But it's at the same time going to be an absolutely important, remarkable beacon of light that you are going to have at the same time, because the whole new path, the whole new perspective, the whole new dimension shall be revealed to you by the end of this week, my gorgeous Piscelini. And it's going to surprise you, because the way things are going to kind of happen, it's going to most certainly going to be so significant. And for the things that you thought, oh, maybe this is going to kind of have like a limited success, maybe I'm not going to get really far, maybe I'm not doing enough, this is all going to make sense. And it's most certainly, it's at the same time going to be the greatest week ever when it comes to an important confirmation. You have been on the right way, you have been on the right path, you have been on the right journey. But it's very important at the same time to keep your eyes open, because there will be an absolutely mind-blowing revelation you're going to have, my gorgeous Piscelini, at the same time. This mind-blowing revelation is going to surprise you at around the midweek, but it's all about your own personal confirmation, and it's all about the actual vision that you're going to have almost instantly. On one hand, you will be aware of the certain manipulation, but then on another hand, this is going to be very powerful and very beneficial for you, because it's going to kind of help you to project your energy in a slightly different way. So that in itself, it's almost instantly going to help you to connect and reconnect with yourself, but in particular with something that you're not doing, something that you're not paying attention to, but you should be doing this, and you should be paying attention to, because it's most certainly very sacred and very important and very significant and very powerful part of you. Something that you're not doing, but you should be doing. Every single one of us are very powerful. Every single one of us are the same, but we are so unique at the same time. We have all incredible and powerful and significant, unique possibilities. And this is to do with your own essence. It's to do with your own revelation. It's to do with the confirmation that you're going to have at the same time, which is going to travel to you as well. It's going to happen at the time when you are relaxing. There is going to be information that is going to come through. It's going to happen when you're like meditating. It can happen while you're grounding yourself, but it's also going to happen it could also happen like you pay attention to what is the very first thing on your mind every single morning. Because there are 2 mornings that something is going to be revealed to you, and both things are going to be very valuable and powerful informations that on one hand are going to help you to realize the hidden agenda around you. But then on another hand, it's just going to be very much so connected to things that you have been in self-denial about. And it's going to help you to make this powerful decision. My gorgeous, my Piscelinis, this is a wonderful week, because you will be able to feel this really nice energy. You will be able to feel this really powerful vibration. And even if you're feeling really low, even if you feel really down, just remember what Sashita said. Even if you feel really low, even if you feel really down, you will have the power. You're the one with this energy. You're the one who's going to be able to manipulate this to the best of your abilities in order to help you, not to bring you down. So that particular vibration and heavy energy, if you may feel, this week, just remember, this is something that you basically project in the way that you want to project, and it highlights you almost immediately, beautifully. And it also highlights other things around you that you wouldn't normally have. So that amount of energy, you just change it around and you just use it into your own favor. So there isn't this negative or bad or low vibration energy. You just learn how to switch this over, and you don't even need to learn. It's just if you feel like the worst, I know that it's going to be like a Wednesday or Thursday when you're going to feel quite heavy. And on both days, you will know that this is not bad. This is not negative. This is not horrible. This is the blessing that you are having at the same time, which is trying to let you know by your own vibration, by your own direction, which is just going to start changing and turning slowly, but it's going to require from you to make a first move, to make a necessary effort. And the first move to make is, first of all, you will know, oh, I feel a little bit tired, I feel a little bit weird. And then you will know, oh wait, Sasha told me. Yes, exactly. You use this energy for the best of your own ability by just tapping into it. And the way you tap into it, when you realize that you're feeling like this, you just start doing something very important to you. Start doing something very significant to you. Start doing something that means so much to you. And this is that spiritual knock that you are going to make. And that is going to start the process of enlightenment, which is going to empower you in so many different ways. On one hand, it's going to provide you a new perspective. On another hand, it's going to bring you a huge, massive, mind-blowing confirmation. And then again, it's going to bring you the biggest wake-up call ever. It is not going to lead to the biggest change of your life this week, but most certainly 26 days later, something absolutely mind-blowing is going to take place. 26 days later exactly, which is going to be connected to the new beginning. You doing something that you should be really doing. My gorgeous Pisceline is just so powerful. Once you find yourself, you're like, oh my Lord, on top of the world. You're deep, but you're powerful. You're deep, but you're powerful. Just remember this, 26 days later, something absolutely mind-blowing, remarkable is going to take place. It's going to bring you an opportunity. It's going to bring you a powerful chance. It's going to bring you amazing realization. It's going to bring you the greatest honor. It's going to make you feel so good about yourself. It's about a new perspective that you're going to have at the same time. It's about a really powerful, mind-blowing radiance. It's about a whole new focus that you are going to have. And the vibration and energy is just going to be out of this world. This week, it's also this 26 days that I said later is going to be pretty much so important, because it's going to lead to all these things, and also the beginning of something very important in your life. Also this week, it's going to bring you an important moment when it comes to the actual home. This is a great week when it comes to homecoming. This is a great week when it comes to an important confirmation. It's going to make you feel so good. The news, just remember, baby, some news, you will get a news. You will get a news, my gorgeous Pisceline. And it's going to be great. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to put a big smile on your face. It's going to be the greatest confirmation. It's going to need a little bit of adjustment and readjustment in your life, but most certainly it's going to be fantastic, because it's going to bring you determination, and it's also going to confirm the certain experience about yourself, something that you're doing right, and you should be taking on the next level as well. Very important, because there will be unlimited possibilities connected to that is really going to bring a balance so beautiful, because it's almost immediately going to be connected to a certain idea, and that is going to bring you enthusiasm. And it's all about this particular initiative that you're going to have connected to this beautiful unlimited possibilities at the same time. But anyway, so it's to do with the actual happiness, it's to do with the joy, it's to do with the pleasure, it's to do with the peace this week, it's to do with the love, contentment, and also very important moment, very important week when it comes to family, very important week when it comes to people around you. There is a certain family member that is going to need your help, my gorgeous Pisceline. See which family member is going to need your help. It's very important, because you are going to have a very enhanced power of your own personal vibration this week, which is going to reflect on your own healing. Okay, so you can heal so much about yourself this week, so much. Just put your mind to it, my gorgeous Pisceline. Your hands will be very powerful. Your look will be very powerful. Your energy will be very powerful. So therefore, someone around you, it's either your family member, or it's either your good friend or your best friend. Somebody's gonna say something that they maybe, they don't feel good or something. Or somebody will feel low, somebody will feel down, somebody will feel negative. they will need your help. They will need your hand. I do see letter A. Letter A. Anne for Anne. Or letter A. Andy. Letter A. Alison. Letter A. Amanda. Letter A. Alan. Letter A. Alan. Letter A, Anna. It could be anyone really with letter A. It's important, but it's just like a basically, yeah, letter A is going to make an important, significant part of this person. It may not even be in the first letter of their name, it could be their surname, but also it could be connected to the certain situation that is actually connected to that person as well at the same time. So this is why letter A is going to be quite significant. And also pay attention to the idea that you are going to have at the same time. But most certainly it's going to be great this week, you know, when it comes to the actual very important outcome, you know, when it comes to some kind of reputation. This week will be super significant when it comes to your own reputation as well. Just remember this. And also when it comes to some kind of like a friendship, also when it comes to some kind of like, it's to do with the beginning of an understanding, which is going to also rejuvenate the vibration and the energy in between you and somebody else this week as well. So there is going to be a very kind of like return of someone in your life. I'm not saying it's your boyfriend or girlfriend necessarily or anything like that. No, baby, no. I'm talking about someone very spiritual. I'm talking about someone very powerful. I'm talking about someone who is meant to be sharing our spiritual journey with us. Not boyfriend, girlfriend and all that. Just someone very powerful and spiritual who is meant to be there to share our spiritual journey. Perhaps there will be a return from someone, but most certainly there will be a very significant message and advice that you're gonna get at the same time. So just pay attention to it, because it's going to help you with a certain like a kind of like a misunderstanding or unsatisfaction that you might have felt in the past. And it's a lot to do with like a basically maybe like a lack of harmony, you know, and things like that. So this is actually going to be really good. On another hand, my gorgeous Piscelini, just remember this week in between the 13th and the 19th of July 2020, you are going to discover something very special about yourself. And it's to do with you needing to understand this, you wanting to understand this, but you will be able to do this from a completely different level, because you are going through a very powerful enlightenment at the same time, which is in return going to start the process of suspension, transition, change, reversal of those things that were bringing you down because you became bored of them. So it means that you just need to move on from them because they're draining your energy. So you will need a little bit of adjustment. So you're going to need to turn to different things and different options this week. 3 different options are going to be playing an important role. But most certainly it's to do with like the actual sacrifice and readjustment, which is going to become the part of your regeneration, and it's going to lead towards your own rebirth. This is very important, you know. It is about this organization which you're going to be paying attention to, which is in return going to bring you really powerful balance indeed. Okay. And also, my gorgeous Piscelinis, if you want to start like some kind of process of like a judgment, because you're going to hear justice, you know, you're going to hear a certain justice, but this particular justice that you're going to hear, this is going to be so important to you, and you're going to benefit from this like there is no tomorrow. It's going to be confirmation for you, but also at the same time it's going to be like a very significant when it comes to the actual continuation, you know, continuation, and also for you time to like go for it. A lot to do with a beautiful, powerful green light at the same time. So now, my gorgeous Piscelinis, I'm just going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to see what is your oracle card, my babies. Okay, what is your oracle card, my gorgeous Piscelinis? Okie dokie. What is your oracle card? Patience, you see? Yeah, do not change your mind, my gorgeous Pisceline. Do not change your mind. You are going to come to terms with a situation that is going to surprise you this week. You're going to realize something which is going to surprise you this week. But it's just also going to make you realize that it's not happening like as quick as you would want to, as fast as you would want to. This is part of your test. You are meant to be on that road. Remember, Pisceline, you are meant to be on that road. You are meant to be on this journey. Remember, this is part of the little testy you're going to have. And the answer to this is patience. Patience will be very important. You're on the right track. You're on the right journey. This is going to be the part of your test. Do not jump into any conclusions or anything like that. Just take one step at a time, my gorgeous Pisceline, and remember, patience will be very, very important. You being patient is going to be everything. You being patient is going to change. Sorry. It's going to change you. You being patient, it's going to change your life. This is a very important moment in time, so not that long after, you will have a very, very special reward that you're going to be provided by, which is going to be connected to an insight from the past, which is most certainly going to bring you a powerful outcome. But it's so much so connected to your own passion, and it's so much so connected to things that you should be doing at the same time that you're not doing, but you should be paying attention to it, because it's very important. Because you're about to discover something very special about yourself, and I like it, and most certainly you are going to like it too, my gorgeous Pisceline. At the same time, it's going to lead towards an important moment when it comes to your own abundance. This is going to be connected to your blessings, the beautiful, gorgeous blessings. Just wait for it, my gorgeous Pisceline, and you will see exactly what I mean. Okay, love you. Thank you ever so much for watching, my people. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos, my gorgeous peopleini, my gorgeous people. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace, and light to every single one of you, my gorgeous people. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.